Alright, yo, what's up, guys? It's me, Shadow. Real quick before this video starts, I'm going to put the drum kits and VSTs that I used up on the screen. You guys can feel free to pause the video and take a look. I don't want to talk too much in this intro because this is a longer video. Before we get into the video, I'm going to plug my socials. My Instagram is where I'm most active on social media. You guys can go follow me there. I also have 3 type beat channels where I post different genres of beats. And I have a BeatStars where I post a lot of drum kits, sound banks, and beats. I'm assuming most of you guys are producers. And like I said, I make sound kits and drum kits that are perfect for this like new wave sound. So if you guys are interested, I will leave the link in the description. You guys can go check it out. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day or night. Peace. Alright, yo, what's up, guys? It's me, Shadow, back again with another tutorial video. This week we're going to be going over how to make a Iayze type beat. I'm pretty sure that's how his name is pronounced. I used to think his name was like Iayze or something like that, but yeah, pretty sure it's Iayze. If you guys are not familiar with Iayze, he's been really popping off recently for his 2 songs, Come Here and 556. I am not going to be making a 556 type beat. If you guys genuinely want a tutorial on that, let me know, but yeah, I'm not going to be making a Knights of the Round Table type beat. I will say this is my first time ever making anything within this style, so as much as I tried my best to make something within the genre, so you know, I tried my best to make something as accurate as possible, but I think the only mistake I made in this video is I ended up making the beat sound a little too dark. You know, the vibes of like Come Here and Oh Lord, songs like that, they combine super dark, heavy, crazy sub 808s and stuff like that with, I'd say, like sort of happier ambient melodies. So with that out of the way, guys, let's just hop right into this video. Starting off, I set the BPM to 140. Anywhere from like 135 to 145 is like a pretty typical Iayze type beat, you know, BPM. You can go on the slower side, you can go like 130, 120, or on the faster side like 150. That's up to you, but that's just what I did for this video. These are the drums that I used for this beat. So yeah, those are all the drums, just like, you know, hi-hat, clap, and then like a bunch of perks. As for VSTs, I mostly used Purity. I also used Contact and Flex. Basically, I was just looking for sounds that had like weird ambient pad sounds. You don't have to use Contact. You don't have to use Purity. You don't have to use paid plugins. I used Flex for one of the sounds in the beats, so that's like an excellent plugin that I would recommend for these styles of beats. These are the presets that we used within Purity. This is the preset I used in Contact. And this is the preset I used in Flex. As you can hear, the reoccurring theme is just like super ambient, you know, airy, kind of like out of this world, spacey vibes. That's what you kind of want to do with the melodies. Just try to keep in mind the beat that I made is a little bit darker than like a typical Iayze type beat. If you were to change anything that I did, just try to make your melodies a little bit more happier. But anyways, guys, we're just going to hop right into this beat, starting off with the melody. This is the first thing that I did in this beat, guys. I made the chords within Flex and they sound like this. You can kind of hear what I mean. It's like very dark and repetitive and stuff like that. Basically, I just did what I usually do in my beats, which is use chords with spacings of 6 and 4. For a Iayze type beat, I would suggest using chords with spacings of 3 and 2 instead of 4 and 6. I don't know music theory, I don't know chords, so this is the best way I could explain it to you. However, yeah, those are the chords that we made. Very simple, just 4 notes. This is the main chord, and then we just switch it up. We just change the top note up 1 semitone, just to add some like dissonance, I think is the right word, some tension in the beat. After we made that chord progression, we made this little like bouncy ARP type of sound. Basically, I just took the notes that we already used within our chord progression, a C, a G, and a G sharp, and I made this little like upward progressing note pattern. And then I just repeated that for the first. Then for the second 2 bars, I literally just raised it up an octave. I did that with a lot of patterns within this beat. You know, something super simple to keep your beats feeling dark and like airy. You just take what you already made, paste it over, and put it up an octave. Easy. Then, guys, we sort of did the same thing we just did before, except it's like a different note pattern, and it sounds like this. This one was a little more bouncy. It basically always returns to the G note and it goes down to a C or a C. The only difference is one is in a low octave and one is in a high octave, and it basically alternates. And then I did the same thing I did in the last pattern, where I copy and paste the first half and then I raise it up an octave. If you guys are noticing a pattern for these beats, it's okay to be repetitive. I do suggest adding a little bit more variety in your beats than I did, but a couple patterns here and there that are super repetitive are just gonna add some like continuity to your beat. Basically, I don't even know if that's the right word, I just kind of said it. Then guys, I had the bell with harmonics, except I only use the harmonics part and it sounds like this. Super simple. It's going to be hard for me to explain each one of these patterns because I just say the same thing every time, which is, use the notes you already used. That's kind of how I make my melodies, guys. I'm sorry if you wanted like a very educated, like music theory point of view kind of tutorial. I'm not your guy. I do want to learn music theory though, so in the future, I probably will understand what I'm doing more than I do now. But basically, I usually just make a melody. It doesn't matter if it's chords or if it's just a counter melody, something like that. And then I build on it. I look at the notes that I've already used, and then I just use those same notes in higher octaves, lower octaves, the same octave with different sounds and presets. That's a super easy way to build melodies, guys, regardless of the genre, especially if you don't, know music theory. Then I add this purity string. Huge difference in octaves just to add some tension to the beat, some lows and highs, whatever. Then guys, the very last sound we have is that contact sound. It's just very like, I don't know, this is what it sounds like. And yeah, we're basically just keeping up with what we already have been doing. And now all together, guys, the melody that we've created is going to sound like this. It's honestly annoying me how dark this sounds because I was not going for this vibe at all. But I'm just recording the tutorial anyways. I really hope you guys are going to enjoy this regardless. But yeah, guys, now we have the melody out of the way, and we're going to hop into the drums now. Starting off, we have the hi-hats, a little bit complicated, but yeah, I'm just going to play you the pattern. And this is kind of hard to explain. Basically, what you're going to want to do is take every single hi-hat tutorial you've seen on FL Studio, do every single thing in one pattern. That's a pretty good way to describe it. You just, like there's a ton of rolls. Some are chopped like a medium amount. Some are super finely chopped. Some are not chopped very much. There's notes in lower octaves. There's notes in higher octaves. There's notes that are in triplets. There's notes that are in fourths. There's notes that go, up in an upward progressing pattern or whatever. I'm probably just frying everyone's brain who's not good at hi-hats. But my best advice is to start off with a two-step and then take a lot of the notes out of the original pattern and then replace them with things like triplet rolls, or just a super easy thing to do is just highlight a note and then click Alt-U. It will bring up the chopper and then just play around, use different chops, like this is a super low chop, like this is barely chopped, this is super chopped, stuff like that. Just play around and have fun, do some stuff that you don't even think would work. Just make the hi-hat sound like all sorts of crazy. And then if you're wondering why it sounds even weirder than what's actually being played, I use a plugin called Effectrix on my hi-hats. Obviously, Effectrix and Looperator are paid plugins, so if you're using FL Studio and you don't have those, just go with Gross Beat and play around with the effects. These are the effects that I use in the beat. I basically use this Born in Italy preset, but I only use these two things, a reverse and a phaser. And then I use the DB demo with a filter, tonal delay, and a stretch, and altogether it makes it sound super wavy and like stretchy and cool. I don't know why I'm describing things in such detail tonight. I feel like I'm like I guess a tutorial YouTuber. I guess that's pretty on par with what like I'm supposed to do. I don't know, man. This is the clap pattern that we have that's going to stack with the hi-hats. You basically want to use your typical hat pattern. No, your clap pattern. You want to do like a normal clap pattern and then just add claps sort of as perks. I'm not going to lie. Like you can hear right here, I did a roll with my clap. I would not do that in a normal beat, but a lot of Iayze's producers like to do wavy ambient stuff. So yeah, play around with it, have fun, add the clap in like positions that you'd add a perk normally, do stuff like that. And yeah, then guys, we have a snare and that classic plug and be rim sound, and together they're going to sound like this. As you can see here with the snare, I didn't do anything too special. I just, made it hit a couple times. Same thing with the rim pretty much, except for the second part right here. I make it do a cool little roll like this. Basically just doing the chopper again and then, highlighting it, going down here and right clicking so it has like a downwards stair sort of progression that will trail off in velocity. And yeah, guys, that's all the percussion out of the way. Now we're going to move on to the 808s, and that's really where the Jace type beats kind of like shine and, step out of the box. So this is pretty fun. Essentially, the most key part to a Jace type beat is having some really like wonky, weird 808s. The first 808 I'm using, the Pretty Swag V8 808. This one is from Starboy Rob and Go Kami's drum kit or stash kit. I'm not exactly sure, but regardless, it's just a super wavy, weird 808. If you want a solid Jace 808, this rare 808 in the free plugin B kit on Reddit is super good. It sounds like this. You can kind of hear it's like the same vibe, so I'll link that down below. Like I said, it's a free drum kit. But anyways, this is the 808 pattern that we ended up making for the beat. So to start off, let's just focus on the first half. It's nothing too complicated. It's really just the three notes that we've already been using. C to G sharp. That little like one semitone adds the sort of tension that we have in the beat, which I don't know if I should have done that or not because it sounds too dark. And then I just switch it up a little bit. Like basically, instead of it hitting on a regular C note, I raise it up an octave and then right back down to the regular C note like this. I enjoy doing this in a lot of my beats. It's super easy to just like spice your beats up and change it around. Then I add this little roll here. Literally just the chopper like we did with the hi-hats. And then the last thing I do is one of the G notes that was originally in the first half, I basically take it and raise it up an octave. And then on top of that, I add a slide note down an octave. And yeah, that is how I made this super weird, vibey 808 pattern, super subby. That is what you want to do. The very last thing we have, guys, is basically the rare 808, that one that I was just showing you. For the verse, I switch it to this 808 because it's like a lot more chill and in the background. Same exact pattern. It's going to sound like this. This is what all the drum patterns that we made are going to sound like together. Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty cool. I enjoy it. I don't know if you Jace type beat producers feel like it's accurate enough, but like I said already, this is my first attempt ever making something like this, so hopefully it is, enough to educate you guys and get you on the right track to making a Jace type beat. I really did not do much for structuring. I have a very typical trap structuring. It's a 16-bar hook and then a 16-bar verse. And then from there, you just repeat the 16-bar hook, 16-bar verse. You pace it over and over again until your beat is, a good length. For the hooks, it's literally all the sounds except for that little, bouncy counter melody, which comes in for the second half. When we move to the verse, we take a lot of the melody sounds out. We also take the perks out, and we switch the 808 to the rare 808, which is, just more quiet and in the background. The verse is going to be more chill for this beat, and that's literally it. I didn't add any verses. I didn't add any crazy transitions. I thought that the beat was different enough and, kind of wonky enough that I could just go with a regular structuring. Now that we have structuring out of the way, guys, I'm going to quickly go over the mixing because I didn't do much. Basically, I take the limiter off. I say this in every one of my videos, and it is getting old, honestly, but a lot of you guys are probably new viewers. What I do for my beats is I take the limiter off, and that is it. I have a completely dry master, and you're probably like, hey, man, why are you doing that? Well, the simple answer is the limiter, if you don't use it correctly, which a lot of people don't because it's not an easy plugin to understand or whatever, it basically limits your drums. It doesn't allow them to clip, and clipping is what's going to make your 808s especially hit really hard. You notice in a lot of Jace type beats, his 808s are hitting so hard that it sounds like distorted and blown out, and I'm pretty sure that's intentional. What you want to do is just take the limiter off, and if you want to, you can add a soft clipper as well. That will help. A lot of the melody sounds, like the harmonics and the main chords, stuff like that, I made it stereo, which is basically turning this knob right here on the mixer. When you move all the way to the right, it will turn purple, and that means mono, which essentially means it's playing like directly in the center of your headphones. And if you turn turn it to the left, it will turn blue, and it's stereo. Basically, it separates the sound into both ears, so it gives the effect of like a wider sound. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys watched all the way to the end, thank you. I really appreciate you guys who watch my videos all the way through. It means a lot. It also really helps support this channel and me, you know, as a producer. So thank you. If you guys like this video, leave a like. If you didn't, don't. Remember to hit the subscribe button. I post videos 2 times a week covering underground and up-and-coming artists, challenge videos, entertainment content, and more. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day or night. Peace.